Did you know there was a time when Russia had kings and queens? Well, more specifically, Tsar and Tsarinas. The court of St. Petersburg was one of the greatest and most elegant in the world. But while nobles had everything they wanted, the rest of the people starved and had nothing. I'm going to tell you the story of the last sovereign family in Russia. They belonged to a dynasty named Romanov, and they passed to history for a legend, a mystery related to the youngest daughter. Her name was Anastasia, and this is her story. The Great Duchess Anastasia Nikolaevna Romanov was born the 18th of June of the 1901, and she was the youngest daughter of the last sovereign of Imperial Russia, Tsar Nicholas II, and his wife, the Tsarina Alexandra Feodorovna. Anastasia had three older sisters, Olga, Tatiana, and Maria, and one little brother. His name was Alexei, and he was going to be the next Tsar. But Alexei suffered of hemophilia, an inherited genetic disorder that's just revealed in boys. Girls don't suffer it. But like he was going to be the next Tsar, the family looked for a healer, so they, especially the Tsarina, trust in someone named Rasputin. Rasputin was the only one who could heal Alexei, but he had a bad reputation that brought troubles in the family. Surprisingly, Rasputin cursed them, saying that if they fired him, they will all die in less than 6 months. Finally, they fired him, and his words became true. Anastasia and her family, especially her sisters, were known because they were gentle. They helped hurt soldiers in the hospital during the Great War. Even though Anastasia was a playful and enthusiastic girl, she didn't know that times were changing, and so on her life. Russian people were tired of the imperial regime, so they supported Vladimir Lenin and his Bolshevik revolution. Tsar Nicholas II wasn't a bad person. In fact, he and his family were known for their kindness, but certainly he wasn't the greatest administrator because he didn't make a difference or a change while he was in the throne. He arrived to the throne when he was just 20 years old. Can you imagine to be named king, Tsar, so young and unexpert? The Bolsheviks arrested Anastasia and her family, and finally they killed them and their servants in one of the most horrible murders of the 20th century. Because they were the royal family, a lot of people really liked them and respect them. That's the reason why rumors started. People began to say that Anastasia and her little brother Alexei had survived the massacre and were alive. The mystery grew up when a lot of ladies started saying they were Anastasia. The most famous of them was Anna Anderson. A lot of people recognized her as Anastasia, for example, the mother of Nicholas, who was sure Anna was her lost granddaughter. The same happened with Alexei. A lot of boys started saying they were the Miss Tsarevich. But Anna Anderson was in fact an impostor. She was a Polish factory worker with a history of mental illness. It resulted that the whole royal family were killed that awful night. No one survived. The bodies were found in 1990 and 2007. However, Anastasia became a legend in the modern world. Her surviving story inspired a lot of books and inclusive movies. The most famous one was animated and produced by Fox. Also, it was made a musical in Broadway last year, and people got to know a little bit more of Anastasia and the disappeared Russian Empire.
Well, starting now, I'm learning fast on this journey to the past. Dancing dares, painted wings, things I almost remember, and a song someone sings.
So, that's it. Who could imagine that Anastasia, with just 17 years old, would become one of the greatest mysteries and legends in our world?